Hey FOOS, Mizzah Tee here, and here to give you my awaited impressions on Nintendo's recent announcements. That is, they've hooked up with a company called DNA out of Japan who specializes in mobile devices with mobile games. Nintendo has invested in DNA, as well as DNA invested in Nintendo, so that was pretty interesting and pretty cool. I think, it was inevitable from what I've read of the article. And, I've delved a little bit more into it. A lot of people have just paid more attention to headlines and, clickbait headlines. But yeah, if you actually read the transcripts and what's going on, it's pretty nuanced. Nintendo said that they were going to create new games for the mobile market, specialized games, and it won't be, ports of their existing games from like, NES or Super Nintendo, which I'm very happy to see because I feel like, console games are specifically designed for consoles, and they just don't work well when you port them to mobile. I think mobile games are at their best when they have software designed specifically for that mobile device and not a console game or, something like that trying to be ported over to a mobile device, a touchscreen device. It just doesn't work as well. Obviously, you have control issues, and that never really works out well. So I think, Nintendo has been dipping their toes in what they would like to do in the mobile space. I think probably starting with that the submarine game Still Diver, when they did the free-to-play stuff. And I think that's the kind of thing they were testing the waters for this mobile venture. And so don't expect to see like full-on Nintendo console, even handheld type games on mobile. What you should expect to see, and I'm pretty sure you will see, is games like Puzzle and Dragons, that Pokemon puzzle game, things of that nature, and perhaps even games like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Tippet Stars. That game was pretty much designed for a touchscreen interface and would work pretty well on mobile. And I think Nintendo was just testing the waters with games like that. Now, obviously, they're going full on into mobile gaming. And again, don't expect full-featured, big blockbuster titles, things of that nature. But expect to see their IPs in mobile, in games designed for mobile. You're not gonna get the next Mario platformer on a phone. Expect something like a Mario Runner or something like that. We got tons of games like that, and I wouldn't mind seeing something like that on a mobile device. Makes sense. This is just another revenue stream for Nintendo. I'm surprised it took them this long. I'm pretty indifferent about it. They feel like they can make money in this venture, and I think they should go ahead and do that, Obviously, the Wii U ain't selling that great, even though the software is selling pretty well, for the most part. And that's kind of been the case for Nintendo consoles outside of Wii U, or outside of the Wii. The consoles haven't really sold that great since N64, but the software, at least Nintendo's first-party software, has always sold pretty well. That can't continue. A decline in their hardware business can't continue. And so a great way to market to a bigger, broader audience and a newer audience is through mobile devices and mobile gaming. To reintroduce yourself to the younger gamers out there who didn't grow up with your consoles. And that is a way to kind of Trojan horse, if you will, the Nintendo brand into younger gamers who may not be introduced to gaming through a home console or a handheld even. So it just makes a lot of sense, I talked before about Nintendo's popularity and not having the mind share. Well, this is a great way for Nintendo to increase their mind share with non-gamers or new gamers, and that's through mobile devices and games through mobile devices. So it just makes sense. Kind of like, if you think about the Amiibo craze and the Amiibo brand, a lot of people who have Amiibos don't even own a Wii U. It's crazy, but they just like the figurines. I like the figurines too. That's mainly the reason I buy Amiibo. And, occasionally I'll use some of the features, but a lot of people who have Amiibo don't even have Wii U's. So it's just a nice little revenue stream and another way to create brand mind share and market share. And it's, it's a good thing, I think, for the most part. And it won't affect their handhelds in the future, because mobile games and handheld dedicated gaming device games are pretty different. You have some crossover, like I said. But for the most part, it's hard to beat tactile feedback when you're playing video games, and that will always be the advantage to having a handheld or console over a mobile device. So it's a smart venture, and I'm surprised it took them this long. And this will likely increase their skills and ability when it comes to networking, online infrastructure, and networks as well going forward. I think they're building something for the future of their hardware. And this is also going to tie into a new service for the Club Nintendo folks like myself. Obviously, Club Nintendo has been canceled. It'll be completely gone, I think, in July. And this will be replacing that. There'll be some kind of reward set up through this network with DNA. And I'm looking forward to that. See how cool that might be. And, like I said, it will help Nintendo's online infrastructure as well, going into their next consoles, handheld and the NX platform. And that's likely going to be their next home console. It's the code name. And I believe the only reason they even mentioned that is because they wanted to make sure when they announced that they were going mobile, they wanted to make sure people knew that they were still going to continue with dedicated hardware. And that was likely the only reason they even mentioned NX. I think they would have liked to have held off information on NX until next year, and it'll likely be releasing in 2017, likely the fall of 2017, winter, holiday time. And like I said, the only reason they mentioned it is because they wanted to, kill the bad news or the hype news or the clickbait news before it happened. But with Nintendo, you can't really do that. They tried. People still put their dumbfounded articles out there like they were completely didn't understand what Nintendo was saying, and they try to make it seem like, oh, they're going mobile. The Wii U is they've admitted defeat on the Wii U. They've given it up, even though this year we're getting some of the biggest games and Nintendo franchises on the Wii U. It baffles me. Doesn't make sense. If you know anything about Nintendo, they have a hardware cycle of 5 to 6 years, and they usually start mentioning that next hardware platform within 2 to 3 years, which is right around the time of where we are now in the Wii U. It'll be 2.5 years coming up pretty soon. So this isn't new. But for the journalism prostitutes who want the clicks, and the new wave gamers who don't know, whose first console was a PS3 or a PS2, they don't know any better, I suppose. But those are my thoughts. Looking forward to the NX platform. I'll talk more about that in future episodes of the Mizzah Tee Show, so look out for that. And that's my thoughts on it, and I'm excited. I'm also looking forward to whatever the quality of life platform is. Nintendo is doing a lot of different things here. People have forgotten about the quality of life. That's still to be announced. Probably be E3. E3 should be pretty big for Nintendo again this year, with all the awesome games coming out, as well as their new hardware platforms that they're working on, and the DNA deal and all that good stuff. So it should be a pretty eventful E3 for Nintendo this year. I can't wait. I can't wait to start speculating and talking about it. I'll be talking about Star Fox. I'll be doing an introspective, starting with the first Star Fox and Super Nintendo. So that's coming, as well as coming this weekend. Hopefully I can get it out. I recorded it. Just need to edit it together. That is my Sega Saturn Throwback Tea episode on that. So look out for that. And FOOS, stick around, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, one more thing. Play Nintendo, fools.